Well, hello friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you that are visiting me for the first time, I'm Pastor Michael. What I'm going to be doing in this video is showing you step by step how to build a faux beam for your ceiling. So if you'd like to see how I transformed this into this, keep watching. Well, as you can see, the first step in installing a faux beam, and that's what I'm going to be doing right here, is to get all your materials together and put safety first. So I'm going to be using my safety glasses when I'm going to be drilling or cutting or any of that nature. You want to have a ladder that you can get up on, hopefully a safe ladder. So basically, the faux beams are established to divide my great room. So this is coming out of the master bedroom. The furnace room is right here. The back door is right here. So I'm going to be putting 7 faux beams along my ceiling in my home. So this is beam number 2. The first one is already done on the other side of the room. But I want to show you step by step how to build a faux beam to put on your ceiling. So let me show you what we need to do first. The first thing that we need to do is to establish a measurement of what we're coming against. And in this situation, there's a decorative corner piece that was put on. This corner piece measures 4 1/4. So what we want to do is we're going to be adding a 3/4 inch board on each side of that. So we need to take 4 1/4 and subtract 3/4 inches twice. And that gives me a measurement of 2 3/4. So I have already established a 2 3/4 inch wide board. And I was standing some boards on my other beam over there, and I put stain on the whole thing. Didn't know how much I was going to need, so basically I established this to go right here. So if I was to put this up here and just start throwing it in, I would be confused on a couple of things. Number one, I need a measurement right here, so this is coming flush with my finished board. Then I need to cut this out over here, but I want this square. So the first thing that I want to do is clamp this 1x4 onto the side of that. Let me show you how I'm going to do that right now. So basically what I want to do is I've got the thickness of the 3/4 inch board right here. And what I want to do is I want to clamp that to the side of my trim so it's going to be even. Then I'm going to take my clamp and make sure that it's even, the outside edge, and clamp that in place. Double check, triple check, do as many checks as you have, because if you mess up on that measurement, it's going to throw the whole room off. So what I want to do is I want to establish square in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my square and my board and my pencil, and I'm just going to show you because I'm going to put the pencil right there, or sometimes I put the pencil right there, but so I can talk to you, I'm going to put it right there. Hopefully I won't drop it. So I've cut this one, this end at an angle. This is a 6-degree angle. So I want to put it up in there, and I cut this piece short because I got to cut this out, and I'll show you in the next step how we do that. So first step I want to do is First of all, I got to do a couple different things here. I need to make sure that my clamp does not interfere with putting this up against there. So I'm going to do the stain side down. I'm going to put this up here. And this gives me a square look, but I want to double check this off of the wall coming this way. And if this is square, then I know it's going to be square on the other side as well. So just going to put it up there so it's straight against that piece of wood. Then I'm going to run my square up to my trim and then run my board back so I'm square with the trim on here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a measurement mark where that's got to go. And I'm going to draw a line on the ceiling where this has got to go. So now you can see that I have a line up here. Hopefully you can see that in the video. And I've squared it off of this area right here. That's step number one. Let me repeat it. The first thing you need to do is get your tools and your materials that you're going to use. So I got the clamp, I got the trim piece of wood, and I got the piece of wood I'm putting up on the ceiling. Okay? Second step, coming right up. All right, my friends, the second step is to drill some holes in the trim that's going on the ceiling. And as you can tell, I've drilled one hole there and I've drilled one hole there. So you need to drill the hole through this the same diameter of the little bolt that you're going to go through there with. And you're going to stick that up through there, okay? Now, what we need to do is we need to establish where the holes go for the other part of this, which is right here. Let me give you a close-up of what I'm talking about. So we got the little bolt sticking through there, sticking through the hole. Now, this is the part of the molly wing that goes up into the ceiling. So we want to do a bigger hole, but we got to establish where that goes. So this goes through the ceiling. So let me show you how I do that. What I want to do using another clamp, I want to put this up here on the stained side down. And because I have an angle on this, it helps me to establish where that's going to go. So the reason I'm doing this, my friends, is because I need one free hand. You get all that square in there, put that to the line. You can use something to mark that spot. And now I have a mark where it's going to go. So I'm going to make it darker. The next thing I want to do is find a drill bit that is small enough but large enough that this will go through, but not make it too big where it will fall through the drywall. So let me show you what I'm going to be using. All right, this is a 1/2 inch spade drill bit. That's what I used before, but these bolts are a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go to a different drill bit. This one's a bit bigger, and I can tell that's probably about a 5/8. So I'm going to hook that up into my drill. And that's what I'm going to use to drill my first hole. Now, caution about doing it like this. You never know if there's an electrical line going through there. So I know that I got 5/8 of an inch of drywall up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 5/8 of an inch down on my blade here. And it just barely comes right through the bottom of that bit. So I'm just barely going to break the drywall through, and then that's it. So you got to make sure that you're watching very closely what you're doing and make sure to use safety glasses. It's barely going to pop it through there. Well, guess what, my friends? I have a 2x4 up through there. That's even better, because now I can go get a 2.5 inch screw and drive it through there, and then I'll hold it up while that one's clamped in place. Let me go do that, and then the nice part about that is I'll be able to use these molly bolts in another beam. So I'll be right back. All right, my friends, I found some 3-inch screws, and I think they'll go through here just fine. Yep, my hole's big enough. So what am I going to do? Let's get my safety glasses back on. Get back up in there and make sure that my drill bit is now, my drill is within reach. I've already established square, and I'm going to make sure that this thing is back on track where it's got to be. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this square off of my board and off of my line up into that 2x4. As you can tell, my friends, that's solid. It's not going anywhere. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure everything's all square in there. Before I drill that in, I'm going to check squareness on the rest of my wall coming the other way. So I'm going to use the long edge against the trim. And that's pretty square. Check and double check, my friends. Now let's put this screw up in here. And you can tell by the sounds of that, that's in there pretty solid. All right, my friends, that's step 2. Check back right coming up for step 3. All right, my friends, step 3 is all about cutting that this trim out up here. So we want the beam to set tight with a leather wall. What I've done is I've created a template and I've notched out the angle of that trim, okay? So you can tell that there's a left side and then there's a right side, okay? So I'm going to get up on my ladder and I'm going to draw a line on the wall. I got right side out. And I'm just going to draw it down there. And the same thing over on this side. If you try to match your piece of wood with the trim, you're going to be there all day, number one. And number two, it's not going to look right when you get the final beam up here. So we've got a side to put here, a side to put here, and then a bottom side. I'm going to show you that in the upcoming steps. So now that I've established my cut lines, I'm going to use my drummer tool and my safety glasses, and I'm going to cut those out. And then I'll give you a zoom up of what it looks like when it's all cut out. So you notice the trim goes all the way through there. Well, we want to have our 4 1/4 inch beam tied against that wall. So I'm going to turn this on and it's going to get kind of loud. So I'm not going to be talking through this. I'm going to mute my sound and I'm going to put some music on so you don't have to listen to this. All right. Enjoy the music and watch me cut this, and we'll be back here in a second. Well, as you can tell, I'm done cutting it through there. Well, now I got to pull this piece of wood out. And you may have to go back in and shoot nails into your trim to keep it up tight. But this is right next to a joint here. But I'll be nailing these all in the final step. You'll be seeing that too. So let me get a 5-in-1 tool and take that piece out of there. And then we'll go to step number 5, which is figuring out the side pieces. All right, my friends. Step number 5 consists of about 3 different things. So the first thing you need to do is establish how deep your beam is. Well, being I'm establishing off of these corner trim, and that's the way my whole ceiling is going to go. These are 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, 1 3/4. But I started out with 2 inches over there. And I think that's what I'm going to make it to. Well, better go 1 5/8 inches. inch and 5/8. So the width will be inch and 5/8. Now I got to figure out the angle off of my walls and off of this trim piece. So in order to establish that, use a bevel square. See, a bevel square can turn. And what you want to do is use your black edge along a flat piece and then come into your wall, and then that establishes your angle of what your trim piece is. Okay, black side up flush to find your bottom angle. Okay, and you can use that on both sides of your beam. Now when you do this beam, you're going to have to change your angle because it's coming the other way. Now I need a measurement coming across. So the top part to the top part is going to be 39 inches. So I'm going to go rip these with the table saw to get my inch and 5/8, then cut them with my miter saw to get my 6-degree angle. How do I know it's a 6-degree angle? Because I've already built one beam. So I'm not going to show you that on a video. I'm just going to go ahead and cut both pieces, and then I'll bring them in here and clamp them up, and then I'll show you what the next step is. So I'll be back shortly. All right, friends, here we are. Step number 6. Okay, what I've done is I've already cut my angles, and just to let you know what I've done so I know where these are at, because I'm going to stain them. Left, which would be if I was standing underneath it looking up to the wall, left, I wrote on the thing. So left, inside. Okay, I've also scribed top on there. You can see that right there. So we need to know that because we don't have to stain the whole thing. Okay. Oh, so this side of the beam is left, the other side is right. So I'm going to put those within reach, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put them up there, but I'm also going to clamp them in place, and I'm going to tell you why here in a minute. So also, I just got a regular a 1x6 furring strip from Home Depot, and I looked for the pieces that had the most decorative knots in them, and that's what I'm putting out to my great room area so people can actually see the decorativeness of the knotty pine. And this side, I'm going to put it right up in here. But I've got this piece just a little bit too long. So I'm going to take this down and scribe my piece to be the same length that I need here. So let me get my pencil. That's right around the corner here. So let's make sure that the decorative piece inside on the right side fits, which it does, and the angle is perfect. So let's go ahead and set that out of the way. Now this is the left inside. We're going to go ahead and put that up in there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my pencil and scribe that line. Then I'll go out to my miter saw and I'll cut that line off. And then I'll come back and I'll show you what step number 7 is all about. Coming up right after I cut this. As you can tell, I've got both of those side pieces on there. So far I have the top piece and the left and the right piece on there. Now I got to put a bottom piece on there. So roughly measured it with those clamps on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down. Then what I'm going to do is make sure this fits. If it doesn't fit, then I'm going to have to make some cuts on it. The best thing to do is to kind of try to get it up to the side of it if you can. And as you can tell, I'm way too long here, so I'm going to make another scribe cut with my pencil. Make sure that stays in there. Actually, I'm cutting the wrong side. So fridge up. That goes that way. I marked it. See, so I knew which side would go up. I'll show you why here in a minute. Okay, now I've got another mark on there. So I'm going to go cut that and make sure it fits, and then I'll come back on in the same step. Let me go do that. Okay, my friends, I've measured it and I cut it. I also marked on it fridge and wall and up, so I don't have to stain that side, right? So how do I put it all up there? Well, you can do one piece at a time. You can nail one piece at a time in there, but it has to be stained, and I want to make sure that my reveals are all the way that I want them to be. So I'm going to very carefully try to put them all three up there together. So there's the right side. There's the left side. And up, fridge, wall. Then I'll clamp them back in there again. My friends, that's what it looks like. Everything's got to be pushed up there tighter. I'll try to get everything a lot tighter, but you can see that there is a little bit of a reveal there on the bottom part. It's a little bit more over here. That's kind of what I was after. So let's go stain this, and then I can get it nailed up in there the way I want it to be, and it'll fit tighter. The joints will fit tighter, and it'll be the second beam done. So we'll come back on in another day, and we'll get this nailed and glued and clamped. See you soon. Well, hello friends. Welcome to a new day and step 8, which is the final step of this faux beam here. And as you can tell, I have it stained and I have it clamped. And I've put some wood filler up there along the joints, which I'll be staining a little bit later. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and nail this in. And if my air compressor comes on while I'm doing this, I'll just mute the sound of the air compressor, put some music on, so you don't have to listen to that too. So let me get this nailed down. Nail didn't go in all the way. Must hit a knot. Just bend it back and forth. I'm using a 1.25 brad nails. Don't hurt yourself. Get a pair of pliers. I think you got her nailed in pretty good. Hold on a minute. Now I got a little pair of needle nose pliers. Just break that off without hurting myself. Pretty strong area up there. Well, as you can see, I can now take my clamps down. So what I'll do is show you the stain that I'm using and how I go about doing that. Well, my friends, I'm using an speech wick stain. It's a very thin wood stain, and I always use a rubber brush on it. I put this in a plastic bag when I'm not using it because it helps keep it from getting dry. So let's just go ahead and touch up those areas that we have wood filler in. Put some of that on there just because it's dry and it needs it. You could go back in and put some filler in your nail holes if you want. I'll do that later, but I want to finish this out so you can see the finished product. But go ahead and put some stain on here. A little bit of a reveal there. It just shows white pine, so I want to get that covered up. Finished look. And it's running down my hand, as you can see. Just have to deal with it. So I don't think I'll really fill in them nail holes. They don't really look that bad to me. They're really, really tiny. So I'll go ahead and stain this side, but I don't want to put my back to you. So I'm going to go ahead and end this step here, and then I'll give you a close-up once it's done. And then I'll show you the other beam that I also have completed. So stay tuned for the final look. Well, friends, here's the final look of the beam. There's that side and bottom of it. When I touch up my leather paint wall, I'll touch that up. There's the other side of it. Let me go show you the very first one that I made. And as you can tell, I put 5 more of them across this ceiling. It's going to look really, really nice. I want it to look rustic and western in there. So here's the first one I made. You can see how that looks there. Well, friends, I hope you like this step-by-step video on how to do a faux beam look. Let me hold the camera up so you can see them both, hopefully in the same video. So there's that one. Let's kind of cruise out here a little bit. I'm I'm walking backwards, so hopefully I don't step on something. I'll get about right there. You can see the other one. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in another video coming up soon.